My name is Vicky, and I was conceived by rape. I was born in Birmingham in the 70s and adopted when I was about 7 months old. Growing up, I always wanted to find my birth mother. It's almost like she'd been a ghost in my life, knowing there was somebody who'd given birth to you, who was alive, walking around. When I hit my 18th birthday, I was determined to get the files. And that's when I was told by a social worker, and I saw in black and white in my files, that my conception was a result of rape. My birth mum had been 13, a schoolgirl, and my birth dad, a family friend who was 35. The record said that she'd gone to babysit at his house and he raped her. To find out that you'd been born through a horrendous act of violence against a child and that people knew. It says in 7 different places in the files that it was rape. The fact that she was 13 means it was statutory rape because he had sex with a minor. It states his name and address, that social services, police, and health workers knew, but nothing was done about it. My birth mum was from a black working class family, and I can't help thinking attitudes at the time had something to do with that. It made me feel angry, devastated for my birth mum, for me. And then I remember thinking, will my birth mother ever want to meet me? I traced my birth mother with support from my adoptive father, and I found her. Seeing the photo of her for the first time was incredible. It was like looking into a mirror. I remember us meeting when I was about 20. I walked off the train and she was there. I can only imagine how she must have felt seeing me there as an adult. She said that she'd always hoped I'd find her. But it wasn't some soft focus moment or loving embrace. It was just really surreal. It wasn't until decades later, when the Jimmy Savile case and other historic cases were in the news, that I really thought about trying to do anything about it. I'd always thought it was so wrong that my birth father was never prosecuted. It was then that I thought, I've got DNA evidence, because I am DNA evidence. I'm a walking crime scene. And it's all written in the files. I mean, surely people are going to take me seriously. I wanted him to be held accountable. I wanted justice for my mum. I wanted justice for me. The ramifications of what he chose to do have shaped my entire life. Sorry. You think I'd get sick of crying? And he's been able to get away with it and just live his life. My birth mother made it very clear that she'd reported that it was a rape at the time, and people hadn't listened to her then, so why would they listen now? More than 40 years have passed, and she doesn't want to go through it all again, but she supports me pursuing it. I've contacted so many people, police, social workers, solicitors, MPs. They just say, you're not the victim. Because of that crime, I am alive. My whole life's been dictated by it. But no one will see me as the victim. I am living, breathing proof of a child rapist and nobody is interested. How is that okay? My birth father's name was in my files, so I traced him. I was getting nowhere with the police. Eventually, I decided to go to his address. I just remember the nerves. My heart was pounding, I was sweating. I mean, this man, like a ghost, he's done the most heinous act, and this is who I'm going to meet. He came to the front door, and I just said, "Hello, I believe I'm your daughter?" He just said, "Oh, come in." And that was it. It was the most surreal 40 minutes of my life. I remember saying to him, "Well, did you have sex with her? Because if you didn't, then we don't need to be having this conversation." And he just said that just because you have sex with somebody doesn't mean you make a baby. And so to me, that was, well, he just confirmed it. Why would you not deny it? On the way out, I noticed this photo on the wall of a girl, maybe about 12 years old. I just sort of said, "Oh, who's that?" It was his great-granddaughter or someone, and that made me feel absolutely sick. I mean, who's protecting her? I found out that there have been victimless prosecutions for rape, when people don't feel able to report it because of the nature of the crime, but there's evidence. I want the police to look at the files and at least consider a victimless prosecution in my case. And I want the definition of victim to be reviewed. This has nearly beaten me down. Being adopted comes with so many difficulties, and the trauma of this has affected every part of my life. But I will persevere, because I know this is so wrong, and I want justice, so I'm not going to go away.